Hello everyone, welcome on back to the channel. Hope that you're having a great day out there on your specific slice of the world. Let's go ahead and listen to some music over here. Obviously that's what we're doing here. We're going to listen to Billy Thorpe with the track Children of the Sun. This is off of the album of the same name, which was released in 1979. And this particular track here was recommended to me by Happy Me, the Happy One. So Happy, thank you so much for the recommendation and the suggestion. I can't say that I've ever heard of Billy Thorpe. Definitely haven't heard this track, Children of the Sun. But we'll go ahead and give it a listen. We'll talk about it after. Without further ado, let's dive straight on in. Here we go. Sounds like Space Odyssey. I like the sound effects on the drums. They're very spacey. Guitar riff in the distance. Satellite transmission coming into focus. Kind of reminds me of Awkward a little bit.
People of the earth, can you hear me? Came a voice from the sky on that magical night.
I like that.
And in the colors of 1,000 sunsets, they travel to the world on a silvery light. The people of the earth stood waiting, watching as the ships came one by one.
You know the drums are gonna come in hard.
Setting fire to the sky as they landed, carrying to the world children of the sun.
He has kind of cool voice.
Children of the sun. All at once came a sound from inside. Then a beam of light hit the ground.
I like how the story is being enunciated by sounds.
Everyone felt the sound of their heartbeat. Every man, every woman, every child. They pierced the limits of imagination through the door to the world of another time. And on the journey of 1,000 lifetimes, with the children of the sun, they started to climb. Children of the sun.
I like the harmonies rising here.
Children of the
This is a really interesting track.
No more gravity,
Snare.
nothing holding them down.
Completely different.
Endlessly as their ship leaves the ground. Through the walls of time, at the speed
like when it comes back to this little bass line. Just sounds so silly. What a unique sounding song that was. That almost sounded like a progressive pop kind of song because it like strong story based, which I'm thinking is about an alien abduction of sorts. And there's a lot of different avenues in the music. There's a lot of different distinct parts, and it changes quite often. I love how spacey it is, especially in the beginning. You have that theme that kind of flows through the rest of the music as it goes forward, but especially at the beginning, like you heard the spaciness in the opening, and then eventually that distant guitar, like a satellite transmission, kind of coming into play. The way that came around reminded me of Hawkwind a little bit, to be honest. And then the singing, which is by Billy Thorpe, who's also playing guitar. Very, very unique guitar and drum production at some points. But Billy Thorpe's his singing. You know what it reminded me of? Not exactly in the sound of their voice, but more in like the delivery of certain moments. He reminded me of Geddy Lee a little bit, and I don't know if that's like far off. It could be. It's not the first, the first far off thing I've said, but his delivery in certain moments, especially when his voice was kind of in the spotlight in the first half, I was like, listen, I'm like, kind of reminds me of Geddy Lee a little bit. I really love how the music actually enunciates certain moments in the story. So like lyrically, let me pull up the lyrics here real quick. Near the beginning, when the aliens are landing, when it says, at once a sound came from inside, then a beam made of light hit the ground. Like, the aliens, the beam of light comes down. When that happened, there was like this little splash of sound that happened. And then when they say everyone felt the sound of their heartbeat, you do hear a heartbeat begin to match the rhythm there. And then when the actual abduction takes place, the music changes at that point. And it becomes a lot more like, for lack of better word, floaty. Like there's harmonies now from the group that rings out over everything. Instead of just Thorpe himself, the music kind of like expands a little bit and kind of lightens up. It's just really cool how, of course the band certainly bolds, I guess you could say, certain words just with sound in the music. I think that's really cool and a nice way of marrying story with song. Let's get into the story of this one, huh? People of the earth, can you hear me? Came a voice from the sky on that magical night. And in the colors of 1,000 sunsets, they traveled through the world on a silvery light. The people of earth stood waiting, watching as the ships came one by one, setting fire to the sky as they landed, carrying the world, or to the world, children of the sun, who would be these aliens, I'm imagining. Of course, like I said, they come from inside, the beam hits the ground. They pass the limits of imagination through the doors to a world of another time. On the journey of 1,000 lifetimes, the children of the sun, they started to climb. So now the abduction happens. Now, is this abduction voluntary or involuntary? It doesn't quite say, but I I don't think it would be voluntary. Anyways, so they go up on this magical ride, and maybe they'll hit Funkadelic or Parliament when they're up in the sky with that mothership connection. Anyways, let me know what you guys thought of the track. You can let me know in the comments down below. You can follow me over on Twitter. You can support the channel on Patreon. Thank you so much for the recommendation, Happy One. I appreciate that, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.